Are you thinking of possibly moving to Albuquerque and you're not too sure if it's a good fit for you? Well, you're not alone. And in today's video, we're going to be getting into some topics that a lot of people keep asking us when we have these Zoom calls. And I actually got a Zoom call here in a bit talking with somebody who's looking to move down here. So if this is you and you're interested in moving down here, hang tight, grab a pen and your pad, and let's get into today's video. Every Zoom call that I have with a potential person that's looking to move here always starts with just a few questions, and this is really me asking them. It's gonna come down to the big why, right? And it helps me discover if Albuquerque is really gonna be a good fit for you in your lifestyle, job opportunities, and affordability, right? Because I wanna make sure that I can put all of this together into the MLS, or just get with you to help you discover exactly what is going to fit your best needs if you are moving down here to Albuquerque, New Mexico. And I got to remind you guys that if this is your first time tuning in to the Living in Albuquerque channel, like again, right, a lot of hand movements because I'm a hand talker. My name is Eli. Go ahead and hit that subscribe and notification bell down at the bottom. That way you guys never miss out on any videos, because we're putting up videos every week talking about what our beautiful city of Albuquerque and surrounding cities around us have to offer. Now, aside from doing these videos, guys, as much as I love doing them, I would love to help you out with your real estate needs. So if you are planning on moving down here within the next year or so, shoot, even the next 30 days, I'd love to hop on a quick Zoom call with you guys to discuss all of this into great detail, to make sure that you're getting all the information that you need to help you guys make the best educated decision when it comes down to moving to Albuquerque. And that number popping up on the screen is my direct line. I am the one that answers all the calls, texts, and emails. So if you're looking to move down here in the near future, feel free to hit us up. That Zoom call was freaking cool. Come to find out, that lady actually is local and she lives here, and she found our YouTube channel, and she reached out. Now we're helping her get to that next step in purchasing a house, and we got her connected with our lender, Heath, who's freaking awesome. He helps us out with all of our clients, and we like using Heath because he really breaks down the process for you when it comes down to the loan. It really tries to advocate for you when it comes down to finding what product is going to best fit your needs. But the topic of a bit of a hesitation came up, like, is this area going to be too big for me? Is it going to be too small? You know, is there going to be enough things for me to do there? Am I going to be able to find my community, right? Because she lived on the west side and she was moving to the east side, so totally different culture sometimes when you're running into these, you know, smaller suburbs on the east side, especially if you're moving to the East Mountains. But here's what I have to say to that. If you're running into the hesitation and misconception of Albuquerque being too small, not enough to do, and hesitation of not being able to find your group or your community, I can tell you right now that all of that is probably some negative thoughts that you're having. And to be honest with you, as inclusive as Albuquerque is, and how big and spread out everything is, and with all the outdoor stuff that we have to do here, you're definitely gonna be able to find something to do here, like pretty easily as well. Like for me, like getting out to this walking trail, I mean, just look at that sunrise. It's early in the morning. The east is that way, so that's the mountains that I'm looking at. Can't really see it right now, but man, just even a nice walk right now. It's super fresh. I think it's like below 70 degrees. A lot of you guys that are moving down here are complaining about the heat, but getting out in the morning, getting this fresh air is easy to do for me, right? Because man, I just walked out my front doorstep and walked 10 minutes down the road to this trail, and this trail stretches for miles, guys. So there's a ton of that stuff to do, right? You can go out in the mornings, enjoy a nice morning walk, walk your dog or whatever the case is, or enjoy a cup of coffee, right? Or just go to a coffee shop, because a ton of them are open right now. You'll be able to find a small group of people that go there every morning, and you can make new friends that way. I don't know, right? There's a ton of different ways here, just because people love to get out into the community, love to make new friends. And of course, there's some introverted people who don't, but hey, that's okay, right? Somehow, some way, those people still end up in very vibrant communities within Albuquerque. So if you're worried about the whole aspect of finding friends or finding your tribe, I can be honest with you, it's not gonna be very hard to do. Now, on the aspect of having things to do, it's not gonna be very hard to find stuff either, right? If you're a big outdoor enthusiast, you're gonna have plenty to do, from all the hikes, all the biking trails. I mean, kayaking in the Rio Grande, rafting in the Rio Grande in the summertime, that's pretty cool.
going out and fishing at Tingley Beach, even on the ditches. Like, they stock the ditches here because they understand that people love to get outside so much. So if you enjoy retail therapy, I mean, they got this shopping mecca center right in the middle of Albuquerque on the east side. I mean, you got Windrock Mall, Coronado Mall, and Uptown, all within like this 2-mile radius there. So if you do enjoy going out, shopping, that whole vibe right there, Albuquerque has a ton to do aside from just those kind of like circumference of shopping centers. They also have a bunch of thrift stores everywhere. I don't know what it is about Albuquerque and antiques, but those damn things are everywhere. And then just the area, right, of Albuquerque, feeling like it's too small is an idea that, I don't know who told you that, but when you move down here, you can find that the majority of the stuff that you actually drive to anywhere in the city is gonna be about 20-30 minutes away. So it's a bit of a drive, but to be honest with you guys, it's not that bad, right? So if there is any hesitation around moving down here because you think Albuquerque is going to be too big or too small, I can tell you that the size is just right, in my opinion, right? I lived in New York, so I know what big city life is like. And if you feel like you're not going to be able to find a community, I'm a guy of many interests, so I have different friends groups. I mean, life down here is going to be super easy for you guys, and man, I just love to get into it with you. Right now, you move down here and you're like, man, what's next? What can I expect? And there's a lot to be expected here, but it's all on the upside, guys, to be honest with you. When you move down here, there's kind of like this sense of transformation that happens, and it's more of a mindset, to be honest with you, because a lot of that go, 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 rush, rush, rush kind of thing starts to kind of fade away, because Albuquerque is a slow pace kind of vibe. I mean, you might hear all the road noise, but to be honest with you guys, when you come and live here, the majority of the people are lax, super cool and chill. We do stuff like go for walks in the morning, enjoy the sunrise, have a nice cup of coffee. So life is pretty slow for being in a major city, just depending on what area you live in. If you live on the east side, you're gonna find yourself living in a more kind of urban setting, more amenities. You're gonna have all the fun entertainment stuff on that side. Plus, you're gonna be way closer to the mountains, so getting away to the mountains for a hike, for a day trip or picnic or whatever, it's gonna be super easy. If you live on the west side, you're gonna find yourself traveling to the east side a little bit more, right? Because the majority of the jobs are over there, the shopping centers. But to be honest with you guys, since we've been growing in the past couple of years, the west side is starting to get a lot more amenities, a lot more parks, and a lot more things to do out here, right? We have like the West Range, so if you enjoy shooting, there's a public range out here. If you want to go visit the Tres Hermanas, the 3 volcanoes, right? That's on this side of town. The petroglyphs, Bandelier, Jemez, which is 45 minutes away. I always talk about Jemez so much, guys, that I feel like you guys are gonna need to just come down here and experience that. And man, sorry, a bunch of different weird camera angles. My arm is getting tired. I'm sore from all the training that I've been doing. We put up our punching bag, and it's another thing about Albuquerque. It's a big fighting community, you know, UFC, boxing, all that stuff. We're kind of like the mecca for it. So if you're into that kind of deal, you're gonna be able to find a bunch of that here, right? If you're into trading, or if you're into just watching the sport and want to get around a community that kind of lives and breathes that, New Mexico is where you're gonna wanna take a stab at living, because man, those sports are huge here. You got like Jackson Wink, Johnny Tapia's legacy here. Shoot, one of my mentors is a pro boxer. Cut mine and my son's hair. And I've known him for years that I would consider him a brother. So yeah, just love that community here and how tight knit it is. And if you get an opportunity to experience that, man, you're gonna love it too. Just like these things here, there is some trash things when it comes down to living here, and some adjustments that you're gonna have to deal with, right? For instance, the climate here, although we do get 300 plus sunny days of weather here and relatively good weather for the most part, like, and look at this morning, it's like perfect. It's like an intro to fall. We've been experiencing this type of weather for the past week, to be honest with you guys. We went from having 100-degree temps, and just like that, within a day, it's down to like the 80s,
early mornings right now. It's like in the high 60s. It's pretty freaking awesome. So you'll start to see my sweaters and shorts kind of ensemble start to come out again. But really the climate is going to be a little bit drier. We tend to get like 50-50 when it comes down to rain down here. So is it going to be hot and humid? Some days in some areas, to be honest with you, when it has a ton of grass, like my mother-in-law lives closer to the Rio Grande, and when it rains and it's hot, her backyard is just like unbearable. It's super hot and super humid. You literally feel like you're just, you guys understand, right? The majority of you guys live in hot and humid areas. You guys get the gist. But if you're not in those types of areas, the majority of things that you are going to deal with is going to be a drier kind of sense of climate. So staying hydrated and drinking a lot of water is going to be a big thing. Make sure that you drink your electrolytes. I drink those things like all the time just because I can't stress out enough how dry it is here from time to time. Outside of that, you are going to deal with some high winds. So the winds start picking up. You're going to see all the dirt and dust getting kicked up. If you deal with allergies, like I do, I've said it time and time again, you are going to want to just make sure that you get with your doctors to make sure that it's going to make sense to live down here. And for me, being born and raised here, I'm pretty much stuck here. I have no other choice until my kids graduate from college. And then me and the wife kind of talked about moving somewhere up in the mountains to help with those allergies, because I've been dealing with them for years. And that's pretty much the only reason why I would end up leaving Albuquerque, is to help with my own health. So pretty trash things that you're going to deal with when it comes down to living here and dealing with some of the climate issues. Now, another thing is going to be the slow pace of life. The slow pace of life down here is a big one for a lot of people. A lot of people actually move down here for that because they're tired of this kind of go, 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 go mentality. It's draining and it's exhausting. And actually a lot of people are leaving here because of that, because they want to experience that lifestyle of being a little bit more fast paced, you know, getting to success a lot quicker, whatever the case is. Time moves slow down here. So if you are a big anxious person, you're just going to have to keep yourself busy with more things that you enjoy doing, right? For instance, like me, I have a few different interests because I like to keep myself busy, because when it comes down to the slow pace and, you know, Albuquerque's vibe and culture, sometimes it gets to me and sometimes I just got to stay active and keep on going. But if that's what you're looking for, that slower pace lifestyle, then kind of just ignore everything that I said. And then talking about the real estate market, I know I just gave you guys a bunch of good insights, but what I can tell you right now is that our inventory is still a little bit low, so you're still going to find it pretty hard to find a house that is going to fit, you know, 100% of your needs. And what I like to tell people, especially right now, is that you need to find a house that is 80% of what you're looking for, 20% of what you can live with and change, and that pretty much secures a perfect house in all ideologies, right? Because there's no perfect house. Even a custom built house, you're gonna find yourself down the road saying, man, we should have done this, we should have done that. And you start altering and doing different things, right? If there was a perfect house, then people would never move and everybody live in the same house. So just make sure that it's the right house for you. And we can help you do that, especially when we get on our Zoom calls. But really, that's it, guys, as far as it coming down to a couple of things that you can be conflicted with: lifestyle choices, the weather, and our real estate market, which right now is currently changing, and we're starting to see prices come down because houses have been sitting on the market for a little bit longer. That's this month alone in August. Coming into September, things might change because they're saying that interest rates are going to drop, and I know a ton of people that have been waiting on the sidelines that got some money saved up for this time and they've been waiting for this. So now that interest rates are starting to drop, and we've already seen them drop a whole percent, right? We went from almost 8% down to about 6%, close to that. So it's a really good time to jump into the game and start having this conversation, guys. And if none of this deters you, if you're sitting here really relating to this and you're like, man, Eli, I'm really ready to take that next step. I want to know what you and your team can help us out with. I want to know what it's going to take to move down to some of these great areas that you've talked about, like the west side, Montana Ranch, the east side and the Fort Hills. Wherever you want to live, if you want to live close to the river, guys, we can help you find that house. And that number popping up on the screen is my direct line. And as much as I love doing these videos for you guys, bringing you all this great information about Albuquerque and New Mexico, I would love to help you out with your real estate needs. So if you're ready to take that next step and you're planning on moving down here within the next year or so, feel free to hit us up. I am the one that answers all the calls, texts, and emails, and I'd love to connect with you guys. But I gotta get inside. I got a newsletter to write for you guys. And if you guys are looking to join our newsletter with all the good information that I'm bringing out exclusively to our email list of hundreds of people that I get to be connected with every week, feel free to text me. Let me know that you want to join our newsletter. I'll sign you up and we'll stay in touch and keep you updated with everything Albuquerque related. But other than that, guys, you enjoy your weekend. We'll see you guys during the week. Have a good one. Peace.